Okay, let's get a little deeper into the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame, which lately there was a real logjam of talent from the world of SuperMotocross getting in. James Stewart, Ryan Villapoto, and then last year, just a treasure trove of people that you race with, that you fans at home are probably very familiar with. We have Grant Langston's machine behind us, Ryan Dungey, Travis Pastrana also got in, and Rita Coombs is a big part of MX Sports, who runs the Pro Motocross side of the operation. We're really seeing, as Brock Glover told us, for a while there was no one from motocross getting in, and now all the people we expect to be in are getting in.
Well, and Ryan Dungey, I think, is a first ballot guy, right?
Yeah.
But it was interesting, Brock told us that they kind of had to get, as he said it, a hall pass,
Yes.
because he made that return to pro motocross, which would have reset the clock on that 5 year. But I think we all know that was just a fun experiment for Ryan, and he's a very deserving participant. The question I have for you, Weege, is of Travis Pastrana's accolades, which is the one that got him in? Is it motocross? Is it X Games? Is it freestyle? Because take your pick. The guy really kind of changed how we look at the sport of motorcycling and all those disciplines.
Yeah, and what helped there, I actually attended the ceremony, which was Thursday before the Chicagoland SMX playoff round last year, and Pastrana actually went in the ambassador category, not the competitor category. Because, he won a 125 motocross title, which is good. He won a 125 Supercross title, which is good, but that's it. No premier class wins. But when you start looking at his overall impact on motorcycling in general, it becomes a bit of a slam dunk case. And honestly, even part of the nomination for Langston was not just his wins, but he runs a successful dealership, did a great job. We worked with him for a long time in the television game. So the overall contribution to motorcycling beyond just the race wins is a big part of it, and it was good to see him recognized for that. And that's kind of the same thing with Rita Coombs. We saw her plaque back there that literally said the most successful off-road promoter in history, which says a lot about what her and her husband Big Dave did for this sport and this industry.
Yeah, they've left their stamp on this sport, whether it's amateur racing, off-road racing, professional motocross racing. They were everywhere. Yeah. They had a hand in everything that you see and everything that we watch on the weekends, and both you and I get to talk about throughout the week. So all these people are such deserving participants, and I just feel like 2023 was our year. The things that we love, the sports that we watch all the time, this was the year for that.
Yep, and shout out to our buddy Barry Hawk, who did some motocross racing at High Point, scored a point once, and is a GNCC champ. He got in last year as well, and we'll get into more of the different disciplines that are in here as the show goes on. But this year, we're hoping could be a good year for Kevin Windham to be the next Super Motocross star to get in, and we asked him what that would mean. He's nominated. We'll see if he gets the votes.
Well, it did surprise me a little bit, but thank you for everyone who was involved in the nomination process. Still got keep our fingers crossed that the votes go the way that I hope they do, and to be selected and inducted into the Hall of Fame would be an honor that would be the cake topper for sure.
Now, of all the motorcycles in here, the one I'm most familiar with, because I raced the production trim of this, was Ricky Carmichael's 2004 factory Honda 450. Now remember, this was the second year of production for this motorcycle, so they were continuously developing, adding new pieces to it, and a lot of these things I simply couldn't get. Now, some of the tricks of the trade of this motorcycle, you're going to see insulated carbon fiber here protecting this shock body from this extremely hot exhaust pipe. Now, these exhaust pipes can get up to 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit. We can imagine what that does to the fluid inside this shock reservoir that's affecting performance. So they're trying to protect that as much as possible. Side note, I didn't have something like this. You're also going to see these little welds on the subframe. This is something I would do to my motorcycle as well. Ricky Carmichael, short in stature just like myself, trying to lower the rear end of that motorcycle just to give you a little bit more clearance between his butt and the seat when it does kick. You'll notice a lower seat. That's a pretty standard maneuver too. They would just shave down the seat to add, again, more clearance to it. But you go through this motorcycle, carbon fiber covers, custom foot pegs that are not for sale, full titanium. All the way through this bike is all magnesium and titanium materials privateers simply can't get. And I remember sitting and staging each and every weekend, drooling over this motorcycle and the performance that it was giving an already potent Ricky Carmichael. It's just one of the things you'll find here at the AMA Hall of Fame. And if they're not looking, I may steal this thing and sign up for it to show up at Southwick next weekend.
One of the great things about this Motorcycle Hall of Fame is that it covers all disciplines of motorcycling. So whatever you're into, there's probably some great memories of the past that are going to be brought back up when you come here. And for me, I saw this 2004 Rodney Smith GNCC Suzuki, and it brought up all these great memories. This is where I broke into the industry as a reporter for Cycle News, and then eventually a television guy. I was doing the pit reporting and the announcing for the series in this season, where Rodney at 40 years old was winning races and eventually won the title. And I remember this like it was yesterday. There was a bombshell news that Ricky Carmichael was going to move from the mighty Team Honda to, at that time in Supercross, the lowly Team Suzuki. And on that weekend where we got that news in April, Rodney Smith won the race on a very stock RM250. Besides a pipe and silencer, this engine was straight off the showroom floor. And I remember Shane Nally, one of the mechanics on the team who had worked with Mike Kudrowski in his motocross days and moved to GNCC, said, the Honda doesn't have low-end power. We could pull the semi with the engine in this bike. This bike is good. We are ready to do damage with Carmichael in Supercross. And that proved to be true. And Rodney, by the way, won the title at 40 years old, which is a heck of an accomplishment. I remember it very, very well. I'm actually getting chills thinking about those early days for me in the industry. And also iconic is this ISD e-bike of Kurt Caselli. Back then, the American team had not had any success much at all in the ISDE, either as a team or individually. Caselli led. I think he finished second overall on that bike. And then he and his dad really spearheaded a leadership effort to make the American ISDE effort better. And eventually now they've gone on to win the event multiple times, but it really all started with that. And if you're not an East Coast woods guy like me, we have rally bikes in here. And if you're familiar with Baja, this is probably the most iconic of the Baja bikes. Danny Hamill and all the damage that Team Green used to do winning that event multiple times. So there's going to be a lot of different things in here that mean a lot of different things to different people. And when you come here, the memories are definitely going to come back. If you want to watch our next race at Southwick, there's a weekend off. This will be June 29th. Race day live coverage presented by Motorsport.com is at 10 a.m. Eastern, and the motos start at 1 o'clock. That's on Peacock and the SMX Video Pass. So enjoy your weekend off. Maybe stop by the museum.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.